Right, welcome back folks. We're back on this full Mondeo. This is the scrap one we bought about 18 months ago as a non-runner for spares or repairs. It only had 37,000 miles on the clock from new. It's just hit about 42,000 now. So we've had a good 5,500 miles out of this, trouble free. If you want to check out what the problem was with this, check the playlist down below, and there's a full playlist on this vehicle when we got it, from what we've done to get it going and to where it is today. But when we did buy it, it did have a little issue with this bumper here, where it wasn't sitting right. So the actual plastic bracket is broken on the lug on the bumper there, and it wasn't as far out as this before, but since we've been driving it for the last 18 months, obviously the wind has been catching it and it's pulled it out to where it is today. So what we're going to be looking at doing today is getting the bumper off and just seeing if we can repair this lug. I'll just show you what's broken. Right, so bringing you in, if you can just see there, it's actually just missing the back bit there. So the back bit is just still there, but it has just broke away. So hopefully we'll be able to do a bit of plastic welding on that and put that lug back where it should be, and hopefully that should clip this bumper back in where it needs to be then. I say it just it's just got worse over time. It wasn't this bad when we first got the vehicle, but I say over time, with it being driven on a daily basis, it's starting to get wind catching under it and it's just pulling it out now. So I do really need to do something about it before it gets any worse and starts ripping off. So these bumpers are held on. I think there's a screw in here. You can't just see that for the light, but there is it looks like a little 8mm nut just in there where my finger is. So there's only one on there, and there's one down here as well. That'll separate it from the inner mud guard, and then just up there you can see there's another 4 bolts. Well, the actual fourth one is not actually on there, so there's only 3 bolts on there. Again, they look like 8 or 10 mils. I can't really see from here, so we'll undo them 3. There'll be 2 on the other wheel arch as well, and I believe there might be something under this trim along here as well, which is there, yeah. So we've got probably a T25 that, and then another T25 along there. So we'll just pull this up. So we're going to get the T25 now. We'll get them 2 undone, and then we'll get under the car, do the middle, and then we'll get the wheel arches done. Right, so it's a bit windy out here folks, so I don't know what you are going to hear. So yeah, it should be 2, 4, 8, 10 bolts just literally get this back bumper off. So they're the 2 T25s, and then we're going to be going to 8 or 10 mil. So I'm just going to double check what we've got under there. Right, so we've got 10 mils under here. Not very tight. So I say there should be 4, but we're missing one off the end. Might have come off, just worked its way off loosely over time. So that's them 3 off. So we'll stick them in the boot, and then you've got your 8mm at the bottom. So 2 8mm at each end of the bumper. A bit fiddly because I'm trying to do it without taking the wheel off, so that's just another job otherwise. Means jacking the car up, getting the wheels off, and it's just, if I can do it without it, that's what we're going to do. So that's that side all off, and that's the pin there. So that's the pin there that locates into there, which was broken on the other side. We lost this back end, so it's not holding back against that. So that's what we're going to be looking at fixing. Bodywork's quite clean on there behind this shot, which is quite surprising. There's not even no surface rust. They do suffer with surface rust around there, so I'm really happy with that. So let's head round the other side. So I'm just going to get these 2 bolts out. There's not much here for you to see, so I won't bother filming this, and I'll come back to you when we're just about to lift the bumper off. Right, so we're going to lift this bumper off now. So that just falls off. Again, The actual bodywork of the car looks fantastic condition. Bit of surface crap on it. The old crash bar has a bit of surface rust, but they do suffer with that commonly. I've seen them a lot worse than this actually. But the actual bodywork of the car, really good condition. I might take this off another day and, well, I won't take it off, I might just treat it on the vehicle, wire brush it down and give it a coat of some hammer oil or something. But as you can see, this is a really good condition, all this. That's the pin on this side that I was on about. So there's not a lot of crap actually behind this bumper, which is quite surprising. Don't seem to be any damage to the vehicle either, so that's another good sign. I'm really happy with how clean this car is. So what we're going to be doing is, this is the little lug that's been giving us issues. So what I might do is we'll build this back up. Even if we do cover this hole, we can re-drill that back out again. So I want to build it back up so it's nice and solid. See what we've got in the log cabin. Let's take it around to the log cabin and get this rebuilt back up. Right, so as you just see on that little bit of time lapse there, I actually heated this panel up, not leaving the heat gun on it for too long because you don't want to distort the plastic or make the paint bubble. And as you might have noticed, I come from the inside of the panel. I wasn't heating up from this side because I didn't want to damage the paintwork. So I did keep that, heating that up 2 or 3 times, working it together with my set of pliers. And now as you can see, it's actually pinched together. That is actually stuck solid, that now, but I'd just like to strengthen it up a bit. I say coming from there, it is actually all strengthened up again, but I just do want to work on it and just make it a bit more stronger. So, right, so we've got Soppy out here.
Just giving him a little hand.
And we've just made this little piece of plastic, like a bit of reinforcement for behind it. And you just put a bit of hot glue on there, haven't you?
Yeah, just to hold it in place. We've cut the slot in it already. We'll let that go off and then we'll back it up with some JB weld around the back just to make it solid, and then finally cut that down there. So that should be supported then. That's about the best we can do with it. Failing that, we could actually drill 2 little holes in it and put some very small nuts and bolts and just hold it in place as well as an extra reinforcement. But these are notoriously hard to repair, these little plastic lugs, and you've got to do the best you can with them.
So we'll let that set and then we'll come back to you when we're heading out to the car.
I'm going out now.
Hey?
You're on your own now, boy.
We'll see you in a minute. Right, folks, so that's gone off now. It's been there about half hour and it is pretty solid, that. I think that would probably do the job. But what I'm going to do is, I've just been out to the vehicle just to make sure this will be all right. And I'm just going to stick a couple of little rivets in as well. And that will just give us a permanent, good solid fix along there. So as I say, I've been out to the vehicle. These rivets ain't going to intrude anywhere on the car, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I was a bit concerned, so as I say, it's all good, it's all been checked. So we're just going to put another couple of holes in straight through these 2 bits of plastic. So that's one hole there, and again I'll just come and there we go. And also just remember, keep your fingers clear at the back when you are drilling. Last thing you want to do is go through your fingers. Right, so here we go. 1, 2. There we go, that's solid, that one. And we'll get our second one. One, 2, 3. Lovely job. So that is definitely not going anywhere now. That is clamped up both sides, and it is glued as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the Dremel now, and I'm just going to cut along there with the Dremel just to take this flush so we can get our bumper right up to the vehicle. Right guys, as you can see, I've cut that bit of excess plastic off now. I've just filed down the end of them rivets as well, so they're flush with the same shape as the bumper, and I've also stuck a little bit of JB weld on there just for good measure. So I don't think this is going to give way anytime soon. As you can see, it's a solid job. We've got the slip back, we've got reinforced plastic on the back, glued, then we've got riveted it, and then we've also wrapped it in some JB weld as well. So that is pretty much solid now. It is pouring down the rain outside, so we're going to go out there, try and dodge the showers, and get this put back on the vehicle, and hopefully it sits nice. Right then folks, so as I say, it's raining out here, so I don't want to be out here too long. So I'm just going to sit the bumper back up there. We'll put our good end in first. So I'm just going to push that in. There we go. So I'm hoping it's not come out of shape, this bumper, where I've left it so long. Because I know this was a bit of a bugger to get in. Right, so I did manage to get that in actually. So that's all back in there as it should be. So what I'll do now is I'll get the two top screws in. So first of all, I'm going to get this torque screw in. We won't nip that right up yet, we'll get the other side in. Just want to make sure everything lines up first. Right, then we can do these two up. I'll be happy with that. You ain't got to go too mad because you're only screwing into the plastic bumper here, so we can stick our rubber trim back on then. To neaten that job up. And then we'll head under the car now and put our 10 mils in. Alright, so where's the screws? They go there. And again, I say there was only 3 on there, so I can only put back what I got off. And I'm hoping you can see alright from there, because you're just resting on the gravel at the minute. Could do with replacing these really, because they're all rotted, all rusted up. So I'll see if I can buy them online. You should be able to. They'll only be a few pence. And this bumper will be coming off again. Yeah, that one's gone, the thread in that, see. So we're down to 2 now. So yeah, it's totally rotten, that one. So I will have to get some more. Then you might just be able to put a nut and a washer on there, as long as you get the right thread. I say that, as I was just saying, the bumper will be coming off again because it's got a little bit of paintwork that it wants doing, and the rear driver's side door has actually had a bit of paint on it before, and it's not the same shade blue, so it will need to be coming off. And when it is off again, I'm going to paint that rear bumper bar. I'll get that sanded down and repainted, and we'll put a bit of and while the bumper's off, we'll give the whole body of this back of the vehicle, we'll go clean down and stick a bit of wax on it just to protect it. So now for the next job. Again, I can't really show you this because I can't get you in because we've still got the wheel on, and there's only literally just enough room to get my hand in there really. And I'm struggling now trying to get the screws lined up. There we go. So we'll just put that in for starters until we get this one lined up. and then we can send these two both in home, and literally it'll be just 2 more screws on the other side, and that will be job done. So literally it's probably in total time to do this, from taking the bumper off, repairing it, waiting for the glue and getting the bumper on, it's probably been about an hour job. The longest part is waiting for the glues to set really. So for an hour's worth of work, Stacey's been on at me this for months. So I thought I'd better get on with it, because I was getting a bit concerned with it blowing in the wind, because it was going to damage the rest of the bumper. If it gets caught in a wind at speed, it would have just ripped this out of here, and it could have started pulling the bumper off as well. So it was needed doing, and it's just saved me a bigger job in the long run if it did rip the whole bumper off, and it's just saved this bumper as well. See, that's pulled back in there lovely now. Really happy with that. There is a bit of a discrepancy with the gap there. As I say, this has been off this before, this bumper, so we will get this all sorted out once we get this door painted, because as I say, it's a slightly different shade. It's not noticeable at the minute, I don't think, on camera, but it has been painted at some point. So we'll get this blown in to a bit of the front door and a bit of this rear quarter panel, and the bumper will be coming off again, as I'll say, because there's a bit of damage on that as well that needs a bit of paint. So I'm just going to get the other side on, and I'll come back to you once we've finished and wrapped it up. Right guys, so there you go. As you can see, we're fully back on now. We haven't got that bulge out of here where you can get your hand in. Really happy with that. Just show you the other side. Again, looking totally the same now. All clipped back in. All good. So that should keep Stacey quiet now and happy. I say it's took me about 8 months to get around to do this job. So I'm going to leave it here for this little quick fast blast Mark III Mondeo video. So if anything, you should know how to remove a rear bumper now off a Mark III Mondeo. It is literally 10 bolts, 2 at the top where your boot latch is. You've got 4 underneath in the centre, and you've got 2 in each inner wheel arch. So you've got 10 there. That's for the Mark III Mondeos. I'm not sure if it's the same along the lines with the STs, if they're all the same, because the bumpers might slightly be different with having the twin exhausts on the ST220, so they might vary, but on the standard Mark III Mondeos it's just 10 bolts. So yeah, if you haven't already, check out the Amazon wishlist down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give the video a share, and until next time, we'll see you about.